WWE just ruined the greatest match of the year. WWE booked Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins and the Fatu vs Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar and the Vision for Raw tonight, and then sabotaged it with the most frustrating non-finish in recent memory. This should have been an instant classic, 6 of WWE's biggest stars in a war that would define feuds for months, but instead we got interference, chaos, and a disqualification ending that left everyone unsatisfied and proved that WWE still can't book major matches without relying on BS finishes that protect everyone at the expense of actual storytelling. This wasn't just a disappointing match. This was WWE taking a dream card lineup and flushing it down the toilet because they're too scared to let anyone look definitively stronger than anyone else. Roman can't lose clean because he's the guy. Brock can't lose because he's a special attraction. Drew can't lose momentum before WrestleMania. So instead of making choices and building stars, WWE gave us a mess that accomplished nothing except wasting 2 hours of our lives. And the Vision? They were supposed to be this unstoppable faction, but their involvement in this match made them look like incompetent idiots who can't even execute a proper interference without botching the finish. This match should have elevated everyone involved. Instead, it made the entire main event scene look disorganized and poorly planned. Hit that like button and subscribe to Wrestling News CC because I'm about to break down exactly how WWE destroyed what should have been the match of the year, why this non-finish proves WWE creative is broken, and why fans should be furious that we keep getting promised epic confrontations only to receive half-finished garbage. Let me walk you through this disaster because the build-up made the payoff even more insulting. For 3 weeks, WWE hyped this as the biggest six-man tag match in Raw history. Roman Reigns forced to team with Seth Rollins, his former Shield brother who he has complicated history with. Jacob Fatu making his main roster debut as the most dangerous member of the bloodline, against Drew McIntyre seeking revenge on everyone who's wronged him, Brock Lesnar still furious from his Royal Rumble embarrassment, and the Vision providing the numbers advantage they always rely on. The storyline writes itself. Personal grudges, high stakes, the potential for chaos. WWE spent weeks building anticipation, doing video packages, having the competitors cut intense promos. By the time Raw rolled around, expectations were through the roof. The match starts and for the first 20 minutes, it's everything we hoped for. Roman and Seth have this tense dynamic where they're working together but clearly don't trust each other. Jacob Fatu is an absolute monster, throwing people around and hitting moves that make the crowd gasp. Drew is working stiff, legitimately trying to hurt people. Brock is Brock pure destruction. And the Vision members are playing their roles as the wild cards who could swing the match either direction. The near falls are believable. The false finishes have the crowd on their feet. The storytelling is tight. You can see each team's strategy, see the breakdowns in communication, see the grudges manifesting in stiff shots and personal exchanges. This is exactly what WWE should be doing with their top talent. Then around the 25-minute mark, everything falls apart. The Vision members who've been lurking at ringside start getting more involved. One of them pulls the referee out during a pinfall attempt. Another passes a weapon into the ring. The chaos escalates until there are bodies everywhere, the referee has completely lost control, and nobody can tell what's legal anymore. And then the worst possible outcome, the referee just throws his hands up and calls for the bell. Disqualification. No clear winner. No definitive statement about who's stronger. Just this got too chaotic, so we're ending it, which is code for we booked ourselves into a corner and don't know how to finish this without someone looking weak. The crowd boos heavily. Not heel heat, genuine disappointment. Because WWE just promised them a war and delivered a non-finish that protects everyone while satisfying nobody. Here's why this is inexcusable. WWE had multiple ways to book a satisfying finish that still protected everyone's credibility. They could have had one team win through a fluke or roll-up, a distraction leading to a quick pin that sets up rematches because the losers can claim they got caught off guard. They could have had one wrestler turn on their team, creating new storylines while giving the match a definitive outcome. They could have built to a massive spot where everyone hits finishers simultaneously and one team barely survives. Any of those would be better than a disqualification that makes the entire match feel pointless. Because if you're not going to have a winner, why book the match at all? Just do more segments building to a future match where you'll actually commit to an outcome. But WWE doesn't think that way. They think fans will just accept non-finishes because that's wrestling and we're conditioned to expect disappointment. And the worst part is they're partially right. We keep watching even when they deliver garbage like this because we're addicted to the possibility that maybe this time it'll be different. Let's talk about what this non-finish does to each participant because the damage is significant. Roman Reigns doesn't get a definitive win, which he needs to rebuild credibility after Brock demolished him. He also doesn't lose, which means there's no character development or momentum shift. He's in the exact same position he was before the match, stagnant. Seth Rollins doesn't get to prove he can hang with the main event scene again after being in the midcard for months. His reunion with Roman leads nowhere because there's no victory to either cement their alliance or create the tension that leads to a breakup. Wasted opportunity. Jacob Fatu's main roster debut should have been definitive. He should have pinned someone important or at least looked so dominant that even in a losing effort, he's clearly a star. Instead, he got lost in the chaos of the non-finish and didn't get a moment that establishes him as the monster he's supposed to be. Drew McIntyre's revenge tour continues to spin its wheels because he can't get a clean victory over the people who've wronged him. How many times can Drew almost win before people stop caring? How many non-finishes can his character sustain before he's just another guy who talks tough but never delivers? Brock Lesnar continues to be wasted in WWE. After being embarrassed at the Royal Rumble and promised a chance for redemption, he gets another inconclusive outcome. Why should fans care about Brock if WWE won't let him look special anymore? And the Vision? They're supposed to be this terrifying faction, but their interference was so sloppy and poorly coordinated that they look like amateurs rather than the strategic masterminds they're supposed to be. You can't build a dominant heel faction when their big moments make them look incompetent. The backstage reaction to this match is reportedly furious. Multiple wrestlers involved apparently argued hard for a different finish, anything that would give the match meaning and set up clear directions for future storylines. WWE Creative overruled them, insisting that a non-finish was necessary to keep all the moving parts protected for WrestleMania season. But here's the problem with that logic: you can't keep everyone protected forever. Eventually, you have to make choices. You have to let some people win and some people lose. You have to create hierarchy and stakes. Otherwise, everything feels meaningless because nothing ever truly matters or changes. This is the fundamental flaw in modern WWE booking. They're so terrified of making the wrong choice that they make no choice at all. They deliver non-finishes, disqualifications, interference endings, anything that allows them to avoid committing to a direction. And fans are exhausted by it. We're tired of being promised epic confrontations only to get inconclusive garbage. We're tired of WWE treating us like we're too stupid to notice that we keep getting the same non-endings over and over. We're tired of investing emotionally in matches that end with "to be continued" instead of actual conclusions. Here's what should have happened: Roman's team should have won through some combination of their numbers advantage and Jacob Fatu's dominance. This establishes Jacob as a star, gives Roman momentum heading toward WrestleMania, and creates stakes for Drew and Brock, who now have to figure out how to overcome this powerful alliance. Or Drew's team should have won with Drew getting the pin on Roman, finally giving him the big victory he needs to position him as a legitimate WrestleMania main eventer. Brock gets his redemption, and Roman is forced to confront that his hold on power is slipping. Either outcome moves stories forward, creates winners and losers, establishes stakes. The non-finish does none of that. My prediction? This leads to a rematch at Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania that also probably ends inconclusively because WWE has forgotten how to book decisive finishes. We'll get months more of this feud with no real resolution until everyone involved moves on to different programs, and we're all supposed to forget this ever happened. That's not storytelling. That's stalling. And it's killing WWE's ability to create moments that actually matter. Drop your thoughts. Are you sick of non-finish main events? Should WWE have just picked a winner and committed? Who should have won this match? And how many more times will we accept this garbage before we demand better? Comments below, because WWE needs to hear that fans are done with this BS. This is Wrestling News CC, where we call out WWE's failures even when they involve the biggest stars. Subscribe for continued coverage of WWE's inability to book satisfying conclusions and analysis that demands better from the company. WWE had Roman, Seth, Fatu, Drew, Brock and the Vision in one match and delivered a non-finish that satisfied nobody. That's not protecting talent, that's creative cowardice. And until WWE learns that matches need winners and losers to actually mean something, we're stuck in this cycle of disappointing garbage that wastes everyone's time. This could have been the match of the year. Instead, it's just another example of WWE's broken creative process that prioritizes short-term protection over long-term storytelling.